We're going to continue this discussion of balancing vitamins and minerals in the equine diet and give you some examples of some common feeding scenarios. Now, here's a typical feeding program. The horse owner's feeding their horse a mature hay on a free choice basis, meaning the horse can eat as much as they want all day long. Then they're providing a bagged commercial feed. Now, in this example, they're given a complete feed at 3 pounds per day, but not following the manufacturer's recommendations of 7 pounds per day. Now, why would somebody want to do that? Well, complete feeds are expensive, and we also know that bagged feeds do add excess energy to the diet, which can lead to obesity. So, in this example, the owner's cutting back on the amount of complete feed that they're giving, save some costs, and reduce the energy in the horse's diet. But knowing this, the owner is also given a hoof supplement because they're going, maybe my vitamin mineral needs aren't being met, and I really want my horse to have strong and healthy hooves, so they're going to add that on top. Now, when we look at what that means for the horse, let's just look at calories, protein, and lysine. You can see by reducing the complete feed to 3 pounds per day, they're still feeding excess calories. The protein levels are above the horse's requirements. The essential amino acid lysine is also above those requirements. Now, when we look at trace minerals, the first one is iron. And it's important to note here that most horses get more than enough iron in their diet from hay alone. Excess iron can interfere with proper mineral balance, so you want to avoid feeds that contain iron. Keep in mind that there are trace amounts of iron in everything from water to table salt. So you'll never find a horse feed that doesn't have any iron in it, but we want to avoid feeds with iron listed in the formulation as an added ingredient. Looking at these other trace minerals, you can see that the hay in this example is deficient in iodine and selenium. It's also low in zinc, copper, and manganese. So in this case, the complete feed and the hoof supplement is helping to meet those requirements. However, the horse is still deficient in selenium. Now, why is that? Well, in this example, the hay we're using, it's deficient in selenium because soils around the world vary in their mineral content, like selenium. And in many of the locations where forages are grown, we have selenium deficient soils. So you can imagine the plant is growing in the soil, there's no selenium present, then there's no selenium uptake in the plant. And then when the horse is either fed that as hay or even pasture, they're not getting selenium in the diet. So it's very typical to see these gaps in trace minerals in our equine diets. Then, if we look at the vitamin levels in this example, you can see the horse is deficient in vitamin A, D, and E. This is because these vitamins were degraded when the grass is cut to make the hay, and these vitamins are not being provided in adequate amounts by the hoof supplement or the complete feed when it's only being fed at half the recommended feeding rate. Now, vitamin E is a very important antioxidant, especially for exercising horses, because it helps their muscle tissue stay healthy and protect against oxidative stress. So it's really important that they get enough of that in the diet. So let's look at a different approach. Here's a balanced feeding approach that you consider for this horse. Now, whenever you're developing a feeding plan, it always starts with choosing the right forage for that horse. This means selecting forage of the right maturity that you can ideally provide free choice access to and match your horse's energy needs. Then, instead of feeding a bagged feed or a complete feed, we introduce a concentrated, complete vitamin and mineral supplement that will help fill in those gaps that we just saw. In this example, we're going to use Mad Barnes Omni-80 pellets, which is balanced to meet the needs of a wide range of horses. Then we want to ensure that we feed some loose salt in the diet and provide free choice access to salt at all times. This will ensure the horse gets enough sodium in their diet, as well as it encourages some hydration. So when we look at just the hay alone, we can see we're meeting the calories, protein, and lysine needs of this horse. Then when we add the salt and the vitamin mineral supplement, you can see, and we don't have the bagged feed in here, so we're not adding any excess calories to the diet or exceeding those protein needs, which again, that can cause excess strain on the horse's body. When we look at the macro minerals, you can really see that combination of the omniety and hay are meeting the horse's requirements for calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, and potassium. Now, the horse still needs some salt to meet their sodium requirements. This is because horses need a lot of sodium in their diet. So it's really important to add loose salt to what you're feeding your horse. Then, when you're looking at the trace minerals, here again, you can really see a big difference. Looking at iodine, zinc, copper, manganese, and selenium, we see that their needs are being met, which is excellent. These levels are above the horse's requirements and puts them into the optimal intake range. Also, we see that the vitamin and minerals supplement is not adding a significant amount of iron into the diet, which could disrupt mineral balance. There's no added iron in omniety, so you're only getting trace amounts that would be present in all horse feeds or minerals. Then, when you look at the vitamins, another big difference here, you can see in this example diet by adding omniety, you're ensuring the horse is getting enough vitamin A, D, E, thiamine, and riboflavin. So, with that simple change, you can meet your horse's daily nutrient needs and keep their diets balanced without contributing to weight gain. You can also see that you don't need to feed an additional hoof supplement to support hoof health. Just feeding a complete vitamin and mineral supplement will cover those needs. Now, to finish this discussion, it's important to remember that not all mineral sources are the same. So, how do you go about reading an ingredient list to make sure you're choosing the best supplement for your horse? Now, let me explain. Trace minerals in horse feeds and supplements can either come in organic or inorganic sources. And this isn't what you're thinking of with organic foods. Instead, inorganic, when referring to minerals, means that the molecular structure does not have carbon in it. And what that means is the mineral is less bioavailable for the horse. So when they consume that ingredient in the diet, they're not able to absorb and use it as well as if it was organic. Instead, organic sources have carbon attached to the mineral. This means they're more bioavailable and better used by the horse's body. So we want to look for organic sources of minerals versus inorganic sources. Now, when you look at the ingredient list and the feed tag or what the manufacturer provides, here's an excellent reference slide for you to use and look through and search for these organic and inorganic sources. Also, be aware that some products will have both organic and inorganic minerals in them. So, even if you see a supplement that says it contains organic sources of a mineral, it might just be that there's a little bit of organic minerals in it, but the rest is balanced out with that cheaper inorganic minerals. So, just be cautious when selecting your vitamin mineral supplements for horses. And if you can, choose one like Omnady, which is 100% organic trace minerals. So, just to summarize, when you're looking to balance the diet of your horse, again, it starts with forage and then selecting a complete vitamin and mineral supplement to fill those gaps. Add some salt on top of that, and you should be meeting your horse's nutrient needs. Now, in the next lecture, we're going to continue on this discussion with a very important component of the equine diet, and that's water. See you there.